Welcome to the podcast. This morning, I want to talk about something that's on my mind, and it's about whether we are making a difference in this world. So sometimes I think, am I really making a difference in anyone's life? And I remember in my job, when I was in the wheelchair industry, there was a story that I want to kind of share with everyone. And it was this woman who I was doing this video for the industry, and it was this lady and her daughter who were at Rankin Jordan Pediatric Hospital in St. Louis, Missouri. And we were filming this commercial. And here's a picture of the little girl. Her name's Catherine, and that's her mother on the right. And we're filming this video. And I remember I was really struggling because I was really stressed out, and I felt like I was talking with these health plans and I wasn't maybe doing a good job of explaining, what these people need. And her mom came over and talked to me, and I'm just kind of making small talk with her. And I said, I just feel like maybe I'm just not making a difference. I said, I talk to these people and they just don't understand because they don't know what these people struggle with. And she said, hold on a second. And she left, and she comes back and she brings me a picture of her daughter. And she looks at me and she holds this picture up to me and she said, every time that you think that you're not making a difference in the lives of people with disabilities, I want you to look at this picture of my daughter and know that it's because of people like you, my daughter has a wheelchair. So needless to say, I'm like bawling, I'm crying, and she's crying. And, I always remember that story. Her name's Katherine Spalding, and I know, I have permission to say her name, and she's allowed me to use that story. I've said it and told it in a keynote, but that's what kept me going. So there are things, sometimes there are moments in our lives where people are making a difference and they just don't even know it. Because of that woman telling me that story, you have no idea, or she probably has no idea how much that inspired me to keep going. When I was stressed out at work, when I thought, am I even, getting through to these people? I remembered Catherine. I keep this picture in my bag every day. And every time I traveled, I have it with me. And I remember the why. And it's really important to remember the why. Here's my kind of takeaway from this. I said, sometimes the impact is invisible. So sometimes the things that we're doing, we or the people that are in our lives that are talking to us, we don't even realize that we're making a difference. So a couple things came to mind this morning when I think about this, because working from home can be very isolating. I have been really struggling about, am I making a difference? And, in the work that I do now, even in the podcast, is it really making a difference? Because I do it only to help others. And then I think about some things that I do that have been really, I think that they have helped a few people that I know, and then they help me too. So number one, I read this Bible verse. I have this like calendar, and it's a daily calendar, and I read it every single morning, and then I take a picture. And then I text it to a few people. And it kind of started out with, it was just my family. So it was literally just my daughter and her husband and my son and my fiance. And, and I just kind of, and my sister, and I started sending it to family. And then it was like, oh, well, my best friend, she didn't always read them. And she was like, yeah, go ahead and send them to me. So I started sending them to her and her husband, and then my other friend. And so I'd send them to her every day. And then I started sending, and this is really kind of crazy, is that I started sending a Bible verse to a woman that I met in Ohio at a health plan that we just connected as Christians. And I started sending it to her every day. And then it just kind of grew from there. And I started sending one to a lady that was on a coaching call that I am on every now and then. And so she would receive it, and she would tell me, hey, thanks for sending that to me. And just thinking of me. And then I sent it to a colleague who was going through kind of a tough time, and he started he wasn't all about Bible verses. And he said his wife was, really into her, into her religion and her Christianity. And I just kept sending them to him every single day. And he said he's started to read them. He's really started to be inspired by them. And that he actually said, my wife loves you that you actually sent these, to me, and that he is more into the Word of God and that sort of thing. And then I think about a young girl I send him to, and I send one to a friend that I met, and trying to think of who else I send him to. Like, I just keep adding more and more people. An old colleague, I added him the other day, and so I don't. Oh, and my hairdresser, okay, my hairstylist. So it's funny because we've been talking for so long, and we never really started talking about Christ. And she had asked me the other day, what does it mean to be saved? What does that mean? And she kept asking me all these kind of different questions about, our faith and things like that. And so I talked to her about, being saved is nothing more than just asking Jesus to come in your heart and ask him to forgive you of your sins, and that you believe in him, and that you want to give your life to him, and that you want to start living your life according to his word. And that's the prayer. If you pray that prayer, we believe that as Christians that you're going to go to heaven. So I think it was just the reason I want to tell you this is that sometimes we don't know we're making a difference, but the fact that we started talking about that, and now she told me her and her husband and her two girls are in church. So like, that is so cool to me, is that I never thought that me sharing my faith would help somebody else to just start moving in that direction. So that was a cool story. The other thing is the thing that I've been doing often is just the last couple of days is like getting up in the morning at 6:00 in the morning and heading to the gym. And so that has really helped with, just staying motivated and being in a good spirit. And then this morning I came back and I listened to Todd Locke's. He was on his podcast and he was talking about, what do you want to do with your life, and what are you passionate about, and life's short and go do the thing. And I just thought, how great that he is motivating other people. And I wondered if he knew how much of a difference he makes, because I listen to his podcast. I'm listening, and if we can take little tidbits of information from others and learn from them, I think that's like the best way to grow and know that you're not alone in this world. And then thirdly, I just want to say that last night, Andy and I decided to go to dance lessons. So we went to Hustle lessons, and Michael Wooten, he owns Effervescent Dance Studios in Granite City. And we went and we had a blast. It was so fun. And we, it was really cold last night. The weather was bad. And, we could have just said, why are we going to do this? We could just stay home, watch TV. But we both got out. We went to dinner, and then we went to the dance class. And I can't tell you how much fun it was. And the reason it was fun, and we talked about this on the way home, is that Michael is like the coolest guy. He has the greatest attitude. He's the sweetest guy. He's just very caring and loving, and he jokes around with everyone, and he just makes it fun. And it was interesting because he has all this inspirational messages up on the wall, and we just had a lot of fun. And I think about that too, is like, how often am I just allowing myself to have fun? And everyone kind of went around the room, and we were supposed to say our name, and then, what was your New Year's resolution? And I usually have them, but I didn't. I don't have one. And I said, well, I really didn't make one, but if I had to, I would say to have more fun this year. So the reason I'm telling you all this morning, Michael was on, he did a live video, and he was talking about his sobriety and how he's trying to help others through just his story. And, I just wanted to get on here and just say that if there is something that you can do to encourage others every single day, then I say do it, because you don't know, how if you're making a difference in someone's life. It could be just a positive word. It could just be a little encouragement. But sometimes the impact is invisible. Sometimes we don't know that we're making a difference, but we really are. And I think about that even every day. I listen to Mel Robbins' podcast, and I just wonder, does she even know? I don't respond all the time on there, and but I'm sure she has no idea. She probably has an idea, but you know, how many people is she impacting? And she really doesn't even know, or doesn't hear from them. And so, again, I'm just on here trying to encourage others and helping. And let me know if what I'm saying is impactful. And I would just encourage you, to go out and encourage others and make an impact on the world.